working.
Yes?
It's working. It's working. It's working.
Nothing's gonna stop us, nothing's gonna top this, nothing like we've ever seen. And I raise my hands to the sky, what a feeling. 'Cause I feel like dancing high, got a feeling, time to feel it. This is where it all begins. This is where it all begins. This is where it all begins.
All right, well, good morning. It is the morning for the big day ahead. Yesterday we spoke to you guys about fixing the shocks, and that was an interesting job. Today we are undertaking the biggest part of this entire project. Everything has been riding on this. My father-in-law has been researching it. I've been researching it on YouTube. Because once this one part is taken apart, this car is inoperable, cannot be driven until it's put back together. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take that rear differential that you see on your screen, that big, they call it the pumpkin. We're going to take all 12 screws off. We're going to drain the fluid that's in there. It's called rear differential fluid, and that coats the gears. Essentially, those gears inside of that pumpkin are responsible for the power that this truck delivers. So once we take the fluid out, we're gonna start to loosen the tires, get the tires off. We're gonna remove the axles. At this point, the truck will be on jack stands. And yeah, so once it's on jack stands and the axles are out, we're gonna loosen the bearings, and that will help loosen the gears, and that whole differential gear is gonna come out. We're trying to determine which bearing goes with which gear, and pressing those bearings into place and then putting it all back together. So I suspect this job is gonna take at least 12 to 15 hours to do. If you think about shop rate, so when I took this to a mechanic, they told us parts and labor were going to cost roughly about $1,400. It's a lot of money, and I bought the parts for under $3. So now the labor's free because I'm doing it myself as a DIYer, and the hardest part is going to be putting it back together, making sure that the gears are aligned. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to say the least. But if you take a second, can't now because there's a red light. In a second, I will accelerate, and you'll hear that humming sound. It'll slowly increase. The more I increase my acceleration, the more the sound is going to increase, and it's a humming sound, and that's essentially what is causing that humming sound. Is the bearing is grinding. Okay, so I think it's important to take a break, show you why the hallowing sound is going on with the truck. So this is a brace right here, okay, and this is what the bearing rides on. If you ever seen a bearing, it has like these little wheels on it, and it rides up and spins around this brace here, okay? This is a brand new bearing. This is our bearing brace, okay? Very smooth, okay? This is our old bearing brace, and as you can tell, if you look right here, smooth, 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 smooth. That's the sound that it's making, because Look at that. It's grinding into that metal, and you can see those grooves. This is what we pulled out of the pinion bearing that we replaced, the bearing brace that we replaced. So you'll hear it in a second. Just take a second and listen. So it's not supposed to make that sound. Now I did some research last night after I came up with a synopsis that I think I now understand why the bearing is grinding. And I came up with this. Because our rear shocks were shot, that put pressure on the gears and it wore the bearing out a lot quicker. So when I went home last night and I did some research, sure enough, that does equate for part of the problem. It could just be a bad bearing. The bearing could possibly have never been changed out. We'll see. Without further ado, I'll show you some clips around of what our project looked like, and hopefully this truck gets put back together and this howling sound goes away. So, thanks guys. So what'd you call this? Egyptian engineering.
It's how the pyramids were built. With no cranes.
All right, so we're trying to get the spring on that shock to relax so that we can take it off. The rest of the nut down there. Phase 1, tomorrow we got that one. Big jump.
No fear, only fight. I'm fearless, it's only right. My head's up, I stay strong. Forever young, may you live long. With perseverance, hold on and stand tall. Never back down with my back against the wall. I'm an overcomer, I overcame it, y'all. I conquered every mountain, I've been through it all. Yeah, I've been through it all. I'm fearless. Nothing can ever hold me back. Nothing. I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. You know. I'm courageous. Yeah. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm unbreakable. I am. fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. I am fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. I am fearless. Gotta get up and go get it. You gotta want it from the soul, you gotta feel it. You gotta seize it every moment, every minute. Every time you get a chance, you gotta live it. Handle your business. I'm never scared with no fear, I'm well aware. I stay ready, I'm well prepared. I risk it all for the cause, take a risk and put it all on the line. I'm fearless. Yeah, I'm fearless. I'm fearless. Nothing can ever hold me back. Nothing. I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm fearless. I am fearless. Yeah. You know. I am courageous. I am strong. I'm strong. I am unbreakable. You can't break me. I'm fearless. I am fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. I am fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless. I am fearless. You know, I am fearless. You know, I'm fearless. Yeah, I'm fearless. I'm fearless. Nothing can ever hold me back. Nothing. I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm fearless. Yeah. I'm fearless, you know. I'm courageous. Yeah. Yeah, I'm strong. I'm unbreakable. I am fearless. Yeah, I'm fearless. I am fearless. Yeah, I'm fearless. I am fearless. I am fearless. You know, I am fearless. You know, I am fearless. You can't stop me. I'm fearless.
Good.
Okay, unscreen.
Oh wow, thanks for pushing
All right, here's the nut and the washer. It's out. So earlier you were telling me there's nothing left. Now you say yes, there is a bearing cup in there.
There is very clearly. Do you want
I
to?
need a hammer.
I have one.
I'll watch it and tell you if it's moving. Hold on, let me get some light. I need light.
Here.
Okay.
You blinded me just a little bit. If you could put it at a better angle.
I don't know what I'm pounding here.
That actually was something I saw on the law people one time. He's saying, look, I've done this. We've all done it. He was talking about removing hinge pins from doors. And we've all taken a screwdriver, cracked them,
That's it though. That's the spot.
There's a groove.
Yes, a groove. That's a good way to describe it. But it's a wide groove, about a 3/8 of an inch wide.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, and 180 degrees opposite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming, Bruce. Here it comes.
Woo! All right. Do you have Benjamin's phone number?
Yes, Mr. Pesci?
Your dad hit gold.
What was that?
There were grooves inside of the ring, and we hit between those grooves, and it came right out.
Grooves in the ring. Okay.
Want to say anything, Bruce?
Yeah, we got it. I just looked at it a different way this time, I guess. Operator, 30 to 50, 50 to 75 millimeters. So that's what these are. 30 to 50, 50 to 75.
Shake it up. I'ma stir it up like a cherry in the cup. Shake it up. Shake it up. I'ma stir it up like a cherry in the cup. Ooh, it's the time of night, and ooh, the feeling's right, and ooh, if you wanna change it up, come shake it up with me. Shake it up.
Half that. No, I'm telling you, it's not going to fit. I know it's not
What
going to
about
fit.
if we change these adapters one way or the
You gotta
other?
go taller. Can you go longer?
Because I'd rather make the minimal cuts just because
Right.
that's a lot of work. And I happened to get that one nice and square, and they're not easy to get square.
I understand the work part. You're hitting where? It wasn't hitting there before.
I'm gonna get this to you. Okay. Alright. Okay, so far so good. I like the spacings. Working.
Yes?
It's working. It's working. It's working.
I need you to press against me. If you can.
Oh, okay. idea you had. Bevel here. Woohoo! Look at that.
All right, so in the grand spectrum of things, this project came out amazing. We completely redid the rear springs, or the shock absorbers, and replaced those. So the car rides a lot higher, a lot smoother. No bumps. I mean, you feel a few bumps here and there, but nothing as bad as it was before. And listen. No hallowing. Woohoo! The hallowing is gone. So super excited. So I originally said it was going to take between 12 to 15 hours. I was pretty close. We wind up spending about 18 and a half hours total rebuilding the rear differential, calibrating it, making sure that the gears were lined up properly using a dial indicator. Very interesting tool. I'll put a link in the description of where you can get that tool, even if you just want to go look it up and go see what it is. Essentially just helped us realign our gear with our pinion, and now the truck just runs beautifully. Oh my gosh, I can actually hear myself talk. So hey guys, listen, this is great. This is what it's all about. It's about showing you guys what we're up to, and it's about keeping you in the loop. But the whole rear has been completely done. I did it myself. My father-in-law helped me. My brother-in-law helped me. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Benjamin. I could not have done it without you guys. It did take all day, but it really wasn't that hard. I would say the hardest part was taking the rear differential pinion bearing brace out. That was the most complicated part, but we took a break. We went inside, we had lunch, and we came back out with clear minds, and we weren't hangry. And Bruce found the groove that I was stating in the video earlier, and top and bottom 180. We hit both those grooves, and it came right out. That was really the only complication. And then Benjamin came later that night. Benjamin, my brother-in-law, he came later that night. And listen, I don't know anything about dial indicators. I still don't even know how it works, but they spoke the language together, and somehow everything came out perfect. Bruce went word by word. He would not let us go off course. He would not let us skip around. We literally followed the service manual, and we did it, guys. So hey, thank you for watching. And I know the video was long, but if you skipped around, you learned something. Maybe I was able to show you something that could help you in the future. Go out, do things yourself, learn something. We teach the kids at the school I teach at. There are two kinds of mindsets. There is the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is stuck on, you know, just not growing. It's not focused. Its main focus is not to do anything. It's to just enjoy life and sit back and be lazy. So the other mindset that we teach the students is to have a growth mindset, and that's the mindset of just going out and learning how to do different things, using YouTube as a resource. We honestly, we're posting this video to YouTube, but we did all our research and watched mechanics at home and mechanics in shops do this whole differential. It's how we were able to learn how to do it ourselves. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that hard. I would say it was about a medium level, and our anxiety, you know, wasn't as high as when we started, you know, putting things back together. So go out, have that growth mindset. But hey, if you want to get plugged into our community here, subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment below. We'll always engage with you, always try to comment back, and just thank you for watching. It's always a pleasure doing these kind of videos. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.